You might think that the title of this video is a bit outlandish, but I stand by my belief. Your iPhone can save your life. Whether it's detecting that you've fallen hard or been in a car crash, or even allowing you to contact the emergency services in an area with no phone reception, there is a lot that your iPhone can do in an emergency. But you need to know how to use all the features, and in this video, I'm going to show you 10 of them. Stick with me until the end of the video because honestly, one of these features could save your life. Okay, let's get into it. If you're ever lost out in the middle of nowhere and you have your iPhone with you, it stands to reason that the first thing you're going to want to do is to use it to contact help. But what if there's no cell service in the area where you're stuck? Provided you have a compatible iPhone, Apple has you covered. Beginning with the iPhone 14 and 14 Pro models, Apple now offer emergency SOS via satellite. You do need to be in a supported country for this to work. I'll put the current list up on screen now, although Apple claim to be adding to this list all the time, and this feature will be coming to all future iPhone models too. When you need to, open Settings, then choose Emergency SOS. If you have a compatible phone and you're in a supported country, you can try the demo to see how this works. Scroll down and choose Try Demo. Your iPhone will give you some information about how this is all going to work, which I'm going to skip through, and then the phone will prompt me to switch off my mobile or cellular service so that the demo can work. I need to ensure that I'm in a position where I've got a clear view of the sky, and once a satellite has been found, your phone will prompt you to follow it via an animation to get a connection. You have to keep this connection because all of the data that gets transmitted via a text message happens with this satellite connection. You can see on screen now the way that a conversation with the emergency services would play out. It's really clever stuff. Clearly, this is just a demo of how this would work, and I hope that all of us who have access to this feature never have to use it, but I also hope that if you ever do have to use it, it's there and you know how to access it. Find My is the name for both the app and the service that allows you to locate your Apple devices when they become lost. So if you have a set of keys with an AirTag attached to them, you can use Find My to locate them if they go missing, or if your laptop is stolen, you can use Find My to try and track it down. But Find My can also be used to share your location with other people. So maybe you're going out to meet someone for the first time and you'd like to give someone you know and trust the ability to track your whereabouts for a period of time to make sure you're okay. Find My would allow you to do this. Open the Find My app, and if it asks you to approve location services or notifications, give it all the access that it requires, otherwise none of this is going to work. Under People, if you're doing this for the first time, you're going to tap the Start Sharing Location button. If you've done this before, you'll tap the plus button and then choose the contact that you'd like to share your location with. You can then choose how long you'd like to share your location for. Indefinitely will of course keep the sharing going all the time, which might be suitable for some people. Otherwise, you can typically share for an hour or until the end of the day, whichever is more suitable for you. And keep in mind, you can remove this sharing at any time if you wish. That's it. Once you've chosen the duration, the other person will receive a notification on their device that you've shared your location with them, and they'll be able to view that information in the Find My app. Of course, in daily usage, this can be used for extremely mundane things. I used this when my wife and I were on holiday last year and couldn't find each other when we got separated at a theme park and couldn't seem to describe our location to each other. But there are also plenty of situations where this could be a lifesaver, so do keep it in mind. I'm not going to explain to you why having access to a compass could be a lifesaver, but what I will explain to you is that your iPhone has a compass built into it, and that most people I speak to either don't know about it or have forgotten all about it. To access it, simply look for the app, either on your home screen or by going to Spotlight Search and searching for it. The compass works exactly as you'd expect, and it's generally very reliable. The great thing about it is that you don't need cellular or data connectivity for this to work. It's entirely independent of all that. So if things ever get really bad and you just need to know that you're heading in the right direction, this could be really useful to you. There's a feature in your iPhone that I think everybody should set up, and it's called Medical ID. In this, you input important information about yourself, things like any allergies you might have, any pre-existing medical conditions, and the names and numbers of people who should be reached out to if you're hurt or injured. Medical and law professionals nowadays know that if someone has an iPhone on them, they should look at the phone to see if this information is present, and they can access this information even if your iPhone is locked. So it is worth taking a moment to fill this information out. It literally only takes a moment to do. To set up a medical ID, open the Health app on your iPhone. Tap on your picture in the upper right of the screen and then choose Medical ID. If you've already created one, you'll have the option to edit it. Otherwise, you can choose Get Started to fill in the information. You can fill in as much or as little information here as you like. Adding a photo will of course help medical professionals verify that it's you. You can input basic information like your date of birth, and then in the fields below you can input important medical information. This could include any pre-existing medical conditions, any medical notes, allergies and reactions, or important medications that you're taking. Below that, you have the option to input things like your blood type, whether you're an organ donor, your primary language, etc. Below that is what I think is possibly the most important section here, besides allergies and medications, and that's your emergency contact. Tap in here to add an emergency contact. Choose the contact from your list, then choose the relationship that this person is to you. You can do this for multiple contacts if you wish, like I've done here. This could make all the difference if you're ever hurt and you want your loved ones to be informed as quickly as possible. Finally, I'd recommend that you enable Show When Locked. You don't have to, but without this enabled, people won't be able to access this information if you're unconscious or unable to interact with your phone, and I kind of feel like this is the whole point of emergency contacts. With that enabled, if I head to the lock screen and try to open the phone without successfully completing Face ID, you can see that we get this emergency option in the bottom left. If I tap on that, I can then choose Medical ID, and then this will show me the information that we just completed. You can even simply tap on an emergency contact to reach out to them from this phone. By the way, if you prefer to have content like this in a written format, there's a PDF to accompany this video, and you can access it by joining my membership program, where for a small monthly fee, you'll get access to all video PDFs moving forward, plus the growing library of old ones. Just follow the link in the description of this video that says Become a Channel Member. Again, this feature only applies to those who own an iPhone 14 or 14 Pro at the moment, but I'm including it because I'm assuming Apple will roll this out as standard on future models, so a growing number of people will have access to this feature in the coming years. Your iPhone can detect if you've been in a car accident, and if you don't respond to your phone within a preset period of time, it can contact the emergency services for you. To check whether you have this enabled or not, open Settings and choose Emergency SOS. The section you're looking for is Crash Detection. If you have Call After Serious Crash enabled, your iPhone will attempt to call the emergency services in the event that you're involved in a serious car accident, and you can of course toggle this off if you wish. Now, this feature isn't perfect. In fact, Apple made the news not long after the launch of the iPhone 14 because emergency call handlers were getting automated calls from theme parks. As it turns out, roller coasters were at one point triggering this feature, although Apple have been working on it since, and it does seem to be working much better now. Clearly, a major car crash could be a very serious situation, and having your phone there to help you out is no bad thing. While we're in the emergency SOS page of settings, I want to draw your attention to these three options up at the top. If you choose to enable call with hold and release, you can then simply pinch the side button and a volume button and keep them held down, and your phone will begin an emergency countdown, and an alarm will sound. At the end of this countdown, your phone will automatically dial the number for the emergency services. If you're ever in a situation where dialing the number on a keypad isn't an option for you, this could be a helpful setting to have enabled. Below that is another option, Call with 5-button presses, where instead of having to press and hold the two side buttons, you simply tap the side button 5 times in a row. You can also enable Call Quietly. If you think you may need to dial the emergency services, but you don't wish to draw attention to yourself while you're doing this, enable Call Quietly. Your phone will still carry out the emergency countdown and dial the emergency services, but won't make a noise. By the way, if you're enjoying the content here, why not consider signing up to my newsletter, The Proper Weekly? I include some tech news from the week, a behind the scenes of what's happening here on the channel, as well as a tip for an item in the Apple ecosystem. The newsletter goes out each Friday, it's free to join, and I'll include a sign-up link in the description of this video. In the case of a major emergency, your iPhone can display emergency, government, and public safety alerts. These can be for things like extreme weather conditions, imminent threats to safety or life, terror incidents, plus anything else deemed to fit into this category. When an alert is received, your iPhone will play out an emergency tone. It's kind of like a loud siren noise, and this will play even if your phone is in silent mode. You can check your settings for this by going to Settings, then Notifications, and scrolling all the way to the bottom and seeing what options you've got here. You can see that for me, here in the UK, I've got Extreme Alerts and Severe Alerts. These will change based on the region you're in. In my opinion, they're worth having switched on. My wife and I were on holiday in Florida during Hurricane Ian last year, and whilst we were well aware of what was happening already, there was something weirdly reassuring about everyone's phones triggering at the same time to ensure that everyone knew the most up-to-date information. Your iPhone, so long as it's been updated to iOS 16 or newer, has a feature called Safety Check. Head to Settings, then Privacy and Security, then scroll down and tap into Safety Check. Safety Check is a feature that allows you to quickly review the permissions you've granted to other people, to apps, and to devices, and in extreme cases, revoke them all in one go. You do that by tapping on Emergency Reset. Note that by doing this, you're going to remove all access that you've granted to people in Find My, or sharing access that you've granted to apps. It's pretty much resetting everything back to factory settings, but then if you feel that you're in danger and you need this, this is where you'd find that option. The other option is to do this on a case-by-case basis by tapping on Manage Sharing and Access. This will take you through multiple steps where you can review the amount of information you're sharing in 3 categories. First, you can view what you're sharing with people. So perhaps you've granted Find My visibility to a friend or family member, or perhaps you've got shared photo albums, a shared calendar, or shared notes. These would all show in this section, and you can choose to revoke access individually if you like. Step 2 is App Access. This is a good place to generally have a review of which apps you've granted information to and have a cleanup. So you can see here, I've granted location access to Uber. But from a safety perspective, are there any apps here that you don't recognize? A common tactic by abusers in abusive relationships is to install spyware on their partner's devices without them knowing. An app like this would show here, and you could revoke the access. Finally, on step 3, this is where you can add or remove a trusted phone number. A trusted phone number is a third party's number that you can use to share verification codes with. Again, a tactic that abusers will use is to get their number in here without you knowing or your permission so that they can gain access to your phone without you knowing. Clearly, if there's a number here that shouldn't be here, remove it. At any time, if you want to come out of this section of your phone, tap the Quick Exit button at the top. Your changes will be saved, but you'll be jumped back to the home screen immediately, and if you then go into Settings, you're bounced back to the main page, leaving no visible clues that you've been looking in this part of your phone. Let's be honest, phone distractions and driving don't go well together, and your iPhone has a feature that allows you to remove these distractions while driving, and it's called Driving Focus. To enable this, go to Settings, then Focus. If you don't already have a driving mode enabled, tap the plus button in the upper right of the screen to add one, and choose Driving. Choose Customize Focus. On this next screen, you can get quite granular about how you'd like to set this up. You could tap into People, for example, and give certain people the ability to override these settings. I might enable this for my wife, for example, but I'd recommend keeping this group pretty small. It should really only be the people who are going to need to get hold of you urgently while you're driving. That's essentially all you need to do for Driving Focus, as this mode will silence all apps and any notifications that you receive whilst driving will all be there ready for you to view as soon as you finish your journey. Enabling Turn On automatically is a good idea. This will either enable when your phone connects via Bluetooth to your car's entertainment system or when CarPlay is enabled, depending on what you choose. The final example is actually a feature that you'll need an Apple Watch to be able to use, either a Series 4 or later or an Apple Watch SE. If your watch thinks it's detected that you've had a hard fall, it will tap you on the wrist, sound an alarm and display an alert. You can either swipe the SOS to contact the emergency services or tap I'm OK to let your watch know that you're okay. If your watch detects that you're not moving or responding, it will make the call automatically after a minute. When you set your Apple Watch up, if you input a date of birth that makes you between 18 and 55 years old, you'll have to toggle this feature on. If you're older than that, it will be toggled on for you automatically. Head into your watch, go to Settings, then SOS, and then Fall Detection, and you've got the ability to toggle this on or off in here. So there you go, 10 settings that you need to be aware of in your iPhone, because they could save your life. What do you think? Any settings that should have been included here? Drop me a comment and let me know. And as ever, if you found this video useful, do please consider leaving me a like and subscribing to my channel for more content like this in the future. See you on the next video.